Another awesome selection of Xbox games and content is hurtling towards the Xbox Game Pass library as we speak, with some having already landed over the past few days if you spotted them. So let's give them a browse all together, shall we?
If you're in a constructive mood, Tropico 6 landed on Xbox Game Pass for cloud, console, and PC on July 8th, meaning you can start building your own tropical paradise from wherever you happen to be. Which is a good thing, because there's a whole lot of stuff that you'll want to keep on top of you as you grow your community from ramshackle town to a thriving metropolis. There's the food supply to keep watch over, and all sorts of economic factors to consider. Plus, you'll want to keep both the industrialists and the communists on side, as well as keeping an eye out for what the people next door are doing. And hold on, do you know something? I don't like the look of those citizens over there. They look a bit revolutionary, perhaps. You should have their leader assassinated, just in case they get any ideas. It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but if you're the sort of compulsive micromanager who thrives on this kind of gameplay, Tropico 6 is just the game for you.
Xbox Game Pass members can now access hundreds of incredible titles from whatever mobile device happens to be closest to you right now, or just by using their browser if that's more your style. And that makes it super easy to jump into games like Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is now fully cloud compatible. Ever since it turned up and basically created the JRPG genre, the Dragon Quest series has taken on all kinds of shapes, from traditional role-players to monster-catching adventures and sword-fighting action games. Dragon Quest Builders 2 puts a Minecraft-y sort of spin on the original formula, leading to an epic RPG that lets you spend lots and lots of time gathering materials and building stuff. And while that description might make it sound like two genres clumsily sellotaped together, we promise the game itself manages to integrate them seamlessly for a true best of both worlds experience.
UFC 4 makes things a lot more straightforward. You don't have to worry about interest rates or international relations like in Tropico 6. Your only goal in life is to be the punchier person out of the two people who are currently punching. And thanks to EA Play's inclusion in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can be. It's a pure, simple, almost zen-like approach to life in UFC 4. There's something about the fear of being roundhouse kicked in the head that helps you forget about all the small stuff. The latest entry in the acclaimed MMA series is bigger and better than ever, once again managing to balance accessible fun with deceptive complexity. And now that the game has been FPS boosted, every one of those kicks will come crashing towards you at a smooth rate of 60 frames per second, which will either make it easier for you to get out of the way or lead to many more frames of your unconscious form slumping to the floor.
Another game which gets straight to the point is Bloodroots, which arrived on Game Pass for cloud, console, and PC on July 15th. You play as Mr. Wolf, a simple woodsman who was left for dead by a gang of outlaws and who now fully intends to leave them even deader. To that end, Bloodroots plays out as a one-hit action game where both you and your enemy's attacks are absolutely lethal, giving you the chance to create incredible chain combos if you can link them all up right. Which becomes a little easier when you realise that pretty much everything around you can and will be used as a deadly weapon, because anyone can kill a man with an axe, but it takes a truly special kind of hero to commit murder using only a carrot. I'm looking at you, John Wick.
We all know that old MacDonald had a farm, and on that farm he had some pigs, as well as a penchant for chaining together nonsensical vowel sounds. But what do he actually do all day? If that question has been burning away at you since nursery school, now you can finally learn the answer thanks to Farming Simulator 19. Here you'll get to grips with the daily tasks that running a successful rural enterprise requires, from planting the very first seeds to working out where to sell off the last of your harvest. And not only is Farming Simulator 19 immensely detailed, it's also fully licensed, with major brands like John Deere and Massey Ferguson available for you to roll across the field in, which is like the farmer's equivalent of swaggering about in a new pair of red bottoms. Probably.
Finally, the 15th also saw the Medium drifting up and away to take up residence on the Cloud Library. You play as Mary Ann, a young woman on a quest to uncover the truth about her strange supernatural powers. That quest takes her to an abandoned holiday resort with a bloody past in the middle of the Polish wilderness. It's very creepy, okay, if you've not got that so far. Whilst trying to solve the various mysteries that she uncovers there, the screen will often split in two to show you what that location looks like in the spirit realm where Marianne is connected to. That is also very creepy. So if you run the math on that one real quick, I'll help you out. The Medium is basically twice as creepy as most other horror games, especially with the ray trace reflections that are surely going to have you glancing over your shoulder.
While not every game on the Xbox Game Pass library is created as deviously pretty as the Medium, some of them are getting there thanks to the new updates that have been rolled out. And that certainly applies to A Plague Tale: Innocence, the rat-infested survival horror game which had us yelping in fright ever since it was first released. And is now even more yelp-worthy after a free next-gen update which has everything scuttling around in full 4K 60. If the announcement of A Plague Tale Requiem at E3 got you excited, now is the perfect time to revisit the original. Jet-powered, the shiny new update for Astroneer adds a bunch of new content, but most importantly it lets you ride a hoverboard, because every game should have an update that lets you ride a hoverboard.
She's no Mr. Nimbus, but Black Desert's latest edition, Corsair, is a pretty badass sea commander in her own right, with the ability to ride waves, summon tsunamis, and turn into a mermaid. She does not control the police though, however. And running until August 2nd, Destiny 2's latest Solstice of Heroes event will give you the chance to unlock all sorts of cool new treasure, including the legendary Solstice armor, which harnesses a secret power for those who prove themselves worthy. Oh, and it also glows.
Doom Eternal also had the full next-gen treatment, meaning that it can now run at an eye-scorching, brain-melting 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S. Because you might think you've exploded demons before, but until you've exploded demons in 120 FPS, you haven't really exploded demons at all. Speaking of gloriously fluid sci-fi ultraviolence, Gears 5 just got 4 new characters, a brand new map, and a bunch of other toys for you to play with while you kick Locust butt in Operation 7.
Things are positively popping off down in Grounded's tiny little world, where the Shroom and Doom update has brought all sorts of fungal fun into the mix, and also a very giant scary spider. But hey, mostly mushrooms, that's alright. When it comes to Rainbow Six Siege operators, it really is the more the merrier, which is why we were so happy to see Thunderbird joining the fray. A no-messing medic with a taste for firepower, Thunderbird is a surgeon with a shotgun in more ways than one.
Game Pass members can save 10% on the latest Zombie Army 4 DLC, which continues the Return to Hell storyline, and introduces you to a chilling new location. Because when you're battling the undead, an asylum is absolutely where you want to end up. No question. Fantastic. Finally, the world of Fallout 76 gets even more perilous with the Steel Rain update. Or at least differently perilous, because on top of the roaming super mutants, you now need to worry about the internal politicking that is about to tear the Brotherhood apart.
Of course, making room for all of this new hotness sadly means that a few of our faves have to be shuffled out of the Game Pass rotation, at least for now. The arrival of UFC 4 delivered a knockout blow to the first and second games in the series, which have now been dragged out of EA Play's content octagon. Elsewhere, there is no longer any room, I'm afraid, for turn-based strategy game Endless Space, which I guess is kind of ironic. There's also no room left for the vertical side-scroller Down Well, which isn't ironic, it's just a thing that happens to be true. And finally, the anime-inspired game-within-a-game crosscode has also left the service. It was all just getting a bit too meta for a while there.
So, that's a wrap on the latest Xbox Game Pass update. Be sure to let us know which titles you'll be checking out, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be the first to know about all the latest Xbox info. Bye!